Okay, so let's dive into something kind of mysterious. When you think of a spider web, you've got that classic image in your head, right? A perfect, flat, geometric spiral. But what if I told you there's a spider out there that looks like a completely failed web building class? Its creation is messy, chaotic. Honestly, it looks ruined. So the big question is it a mistake, or is there something brilliant going on here?
All right, so look at this. On one side, you've got exactly what you'd expect, that classic picture-perfect orb web. But then you look at the other one, and that's what we're talking about today. It's this wild, three-dimensional tent-looking thing, a chaotic jumble of silk. I mean, the difference is just night and day, right? So what in the world is the deal?
To figure out this web, we've got to meet the builder. And honestly, this is where the plot really thickens. Because the spider that makes this apparent mess, well, it comes from a family that's basically famous for being perfect.
So let's put a name to our little artist, Sartophora cicatrosa. But check out its family name, Aranidae. Yep, you got it. It's an orb weaver, the exact same family that builds those gorgeous, flawless, flat webs we all know. And its nicknames, the tent web spider or the ruined orb weaver, they give you a pretty big clue about the puzzle we're solving. And this is the central puzzle, right? You've got an orb weaver spider, a creature that's supposed to build flat spirals, but has completely ditched that plan to build a 3D tent. It's kind of like a master painter suddenly deciding to become a sculptor instead. It really makes you wonder, why? So how in the world does it even build this thing? Well, it turns out that what looks like total chaos is actually a super sophisticated architectural blueprint. There is absolutely a method to this madness, and we're going to break it all down. Okay, first things first, this structure actually has a name, the Ruined Orb Web. And just hearing that name kind of changes how you see it, doesn't it? It's not a broken web. It's a type of web. It's this really complex, non-sticky trap that just sits there and waits.
It's basically a two-part system, simple but brilliant. So first, the spider builds what we call the upper tangle. You know, that messy-looking jumble of lines up top. Then, right below that, it weaves this super fine, dense sheet of silk that's stretched out horizontally. This is not random at all. It's a very deliberate two-step process.
And here it is, the big aha moment. This whole two-part design, it's not just for looks. It is an incredibly smart, super efficient insect trap. And it uses physics in a way that a normal flat web just can't.
I mean, just think about the advantages here. Because it's a 3D tent shape, it's way tougher against wind and rain than a flat web. It's not going to tear as easily, and the water just kind of rolls right off. Plus, it's totally passive. The web does all the work for the spider.
So here's the play-by-play. Some little flying insect, maybe a mosquito, just buzzes right into that upper tangle of threads. But here's the kicker. The threads aren't sticky, so it doesn't get stuck. Instead, it just gets knocked off balance, its flight is totally messed up. And then? Well, gravity does the rest. The poor bug just tumbles down and lands on that dense sheet below. And that's it. It's trapped. Not by sticky silk, but by pure genius design.
But you know, the web itself is really only half the story. The spider's strategy is just as brilliant as its architecture. It's an absolute master of playing the long game, pure patience and stealth. The motto here is pretty simple. The web does the catching, the spider stays hidden. Think about it, this is a super low energy, low risk way to hunt. The spider doesn't have to go running out and exposing itself every time. It just lets its amazing trap do all the hard work. And that's not lazy, that is smart. It's pure efficiency. Saving all that energy is a massive evolutionary advantage.
So where is our little engineer while all this is happening? It's just chilling out, waiting patiently in a tiny hideout, usually tucked right under the very center of that web. It just waits until it feels the vibrations of a trapped bug, and then it comes out to collect its dinner. Smart, safe, and super efficient.
Okay, so we started this whole thing looking at a web that just looked, well, ruined. But now that we've seen the blueprint, the hunting strategy, the actual physics behind it, we have to come back to that big question. Is this thing a total mistake, or is it an absolute masterpiece? But before we get to the final verdict, let's tackle a question that's probably on your mind. Okay, it's a terrifyingly good trap for bugs, but is it dangerous to us? And the answer is a big, clear no. It's pretty much completely harmless. Its venom is what's called medically insignificant, so worst case scenario, a bite would be like a mosquito bite. A little itchy, but that's it. No serious danger. Plus, these guys are super shy. Their first move is always going to be to hide, not to attack.
So I think we have our answer. What looks at first glance like a total failure, a ruined, messy web, is actually an incredible masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. It's perfectly designed for its environment and its food source. It's not broken in the slightest. It's just playing a completely different and maybe even smarter game.
And that really brings us to the final takeaway here. Now that you know how it works, what do you think? Has your opinion changed? Does this web still seem broken to you, or is it just pure genius? It kind of makes you wonder, right? What other incredible, brilliant things are out there, hidden in plain sight, just because we don't understand them yet? So maybe the next time you see a web that looks a little ruined, you'll take a second look. You never know what kind of masterpiece you're actually looking at.